Hi guys. So this other warlock, I actually like this one. I met him after I just had my first child, and it was the first major breakup with me and my kid's dad. I met him, I liked him. He was just really nice to me. He was a Jamaican guy. I kind of have a thing for Jamaicans, obviously, or they've got a thing for me. I don't know which one it is. He was generous. He was generous to me. He was generous to my family. He was very sweet. He was, like I said, a gentleman. Yeah. I found out that he was married. I felt like I was carrying a curse because I kept meeting married men. This one didn't reveal to me that he was married until we got really close. So this is before I was saved. So we'd been together for a while, very close, going out. And then it came out one day with a ring on his finger. I'm like, where did that come from? And I don't even remember what he said, but it was too late by then. And then he explained to me how bad his marriage was and he was getting out of it. And even in my mind, I'm like, no, no, no. Until like you're divorced and not together, it's a no. But for some reason, I just couldn't let this guy go. Oh my gosh. It was an off and on relationship for so long. I wanted to get out. He wouldn't let me out. And I'd go back to my kid's dad. And then he'd just disappear for a little while. And then me and the kid's dad would break up, and somehow he would end up being there again. So this man was just in and out of my life for a long time. And when I cheated on my kid's father for the first time, it was with him. I went away with him on holiday. But the plot thickens. That was partly me, but partly witchcraft, guys. He too was a warlock. Anyway, so it was hard to get rid of him. Very hard to get rid of him. Until the day he tried to get me pregnant. How do I know this? So he came to my house one day, my flat, sorry, I keep saying house, I live in apartments. He came to my home one day, and at this stage, the only thing that was happening between us was just a sexual relationship. So he's like, I need to go to the toilet quickly. And he's gone to the toilet. And as far as I'm understanding, we're using protection, guys. We're using protection, right? So that was the first thing that he did that gave it away. And I only thought about that day when I'd had a miscarriage. Which was shocking because I wasn't with the kid's dad and I was having protective sex. So that made no sense to be pregnant. I didn't understand. And that's when I realized that he was trying to trap me. So that was the last time I saw him. Fast forward years later, he just turns up at my workplace. I don't even live in the same area now. I've moved locations, completely not in the same place. And he's completely separated from his family, his wife and everything. I think they've divorced. And he's now moved closer to me, and he's working around me. He was an Uber driver at the time, so he was dropping someone off in my where I was working. And because I had serious feelings for him, and we had a connection, and I felt that he was real with me and I could be real with him. So I let my guard down with this guy, and it was a sweet relationship. It was one of those ones where we'll be silent in a room, it will just be comfortable. It was cute. And he always said to me he wished he'd met me first, because he felt that I would be the one to have kept him and to make sure that he behaved himself. And I always said, no, you're trouble, full stop. I never wanted to be with him, because I didn't see him as a husband. He had told me that he'd been married before the wife that he was with, and he'd been married before that too. So you've been married a few times. And at this time, I think when I met him, he might have been in his late 20s. And I'm just like, you don't take marriage serious. And why would I be interested in someone like you? I can see that you're not interested in marriage, and I can see that you're not serious about women. So I'd never taken him serious like, I want you all for myself. We had a click. We had a connection. I loved chilling with him. I loved the way he spoke me. I just loved being around him. And I know he liked being around me. So it was comfortable. But I knew no. I just knew no. Because I'd never be able to trust him. I know I would never be able to trust him, especially because I know the truth about everything that he does and everything that he has done. I could never wrap my mind around, I can't even get the words out, wrap my mind around the fact that I was the woman that would be able to keep him. I didn't see that any woman could keep him. No matter how pretty you are, I don't think he had faithfulness in him. So I never saw it as that. I just liked his company. I liked him a lot. And it's a shame that he couldn't be like that, because then I would think about being with him forever. But no. So anyway, he came around my workplace, and again, we clicked, and he's talking, and he's just like, oh, I'd like to see you. And I was just like, it's over, you know, because he kept denying that he tried to get me pregnant, but I know that he did. I wasn't sleeping with anybody else. I was never one of those women to sleep with different men and 5 at a time or 2 at a time. I knew, yeah, who I was with and when I was with them. So that would have been your child. And he always said to me that he wanted to have a baby with me. Well, coincidence, I had a miscarriage, and it was definitely yours. And even when you did the calculation of when it happened, it was the last time I saw him. But guys, you know what the strangest thing is? My phone just did a flip. It came off completely. Maybe I should have left it playing to show you that it happened. So what happens, we're going to have to come back to what I was saying now. What happens sometimes when you mention their name, it's like, I don't know if anybody's ever watched Beetlejuice. You know when you say the name 3 times and then all of a sudden the spirit erects? That's kind of how it is when you talk about a witch or a warlock. Even thinking about them, they can appear. And it's a little bit freaky. So, where was I going with this? So yeah, years later, we've met up. He's like, he's not with his wife and all that. Again, in my mind, you've been married. My mind, every person that I meet, it's not, I want to be your girlfriend. I want to be your wife. And if you don't want that, that's fine. There is no pushing it. I'm supposed to be a godly woman, so I'm not looking for boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm looking for courtship, and courtship leads to marriage. So whoever I am with, 1 has to be godly, and 2 has to want that. or else there is no conversation. There's no point in it even going forward. This man, I know he would marry me. I know he would marry me, but I wouldn't marry him. You've had how many marriages? And now he's a Muslim. I can't marry, and I won't marry a Muslim. And I won't marry a man that's been married 5 times. And already you've shown me that you're a cheater. So anyway, connections there. We're hanging out. I don't even know why I entertained it, because I knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere. God showed me that this man was a warlock. This one I'm quite sad about because I liked him. Not only did I like him, like physically, relationship, sexually, I liked him as a person. He was cool. He was a decent guy. But with both those relationships, the one before in the last video and this one now, all the time that I'd been around them, my finances went downhill. I was fine until they both came into my life. And no, they were sucking from me. They knew what I possess before I knew what I possessed. And they were draining from me. They're both businessmen. They're both... The reason I didn't like the first one, by the way, is because he was just money, 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 money. He worked 7 days a week. Like, everything about him was money. The second one, not so much. He loved money. He had businesses. But he didn't seem that money orientated to me like the first one. And the first one, there was just no time. We didn't really get to spend that much time together. It was whenever he can fit me in there. This one, he always made time for me. He would be, I don't know, busy all day, and he would come and check me in the evening. He would phone me all the time to see how I was. If there was anything I needed, I know that I could ask him. But I don't like asking people for things, so I never put myself in that situation. But yeah, they were both warlocks and they were both preying on me. Because even the last time I spoke to him, which was probably a friend of ours died. The guy that was my friend died, and it was his friend too. We all come from the same area and we know each other. Funny how the little puzzles are coming together. Cult speaking out to anybody? Just a little bit to me. Anyway, so I know that they hadn't seen each other for a while, as far as I understood, and I like phoned him and said to him, oh, you know, such and such has died, and we just had a brief conversation, and he told me that he's got remarried, and then he said something to me that has actually come up. He asked me, why am I not speaking to my sister's dad? Did I tell you that cult is ringing a bell? And what kind of a daughter am I if I'm not speaking to my dad? And I said to him, he's not my dad. He was like, but he looked after you. How does he know that? We never had that conversation before. But anyway, 2 warlocks. There's been another one, but that one is just so in the past, I don't even want to go there with that one. But yeah, just we need to be careful with the people that we bring into our lives and the people that we date. And the thing is, yeah, the first alarm bell is they're not godly. And when I say not godly, even if they say they're godly, like, you need to test the boundaries of how godly they really are. Because anyone can say, yeah, I believe in God. Yeah, I believe in this. I go to church, but they don't go to church. They just say that they go to church. Yeah. Pray about it. I would definitely suggest praying about it. But I think you need to have more questions and to be able to just know the difference between someone that's truly of God and someone that isn't. Because the chances are the one that isn't from God is there purposely to take you away from the one that is meant for you. Because if you're paying attention to something that isn't of God and something comes along that is of God, I don't know where I'm going with this. Okay. If you're entertaining someone that isn't godly and isn't sent from God, you're ruining your chances with the person that is sent from God, because your attention is most probably going to be on the one that isn't from God, because they're going to not have any boundaries. They are going to probably, if they are sent from Satan, they're going to know all the do's and the don'ts. Satan has been around for so long. He's had so much time to learn about you, so he knows what your triggers are and what your triggers aren't. One thing I've noticed is they switch. They can't stay on all the time. They do switch, because I remember the last time I saw the second guy, and he was just like, I just said to him, like, I don't want to see you anymore. And he was just like, okay, give me a kiss. I didn't want to kiss him. He literally dragged my face to give me a kiss. Because I don't know if it was the fact that he couldn't take no, or if it was just the fact that he had to do something with attaching himself to me. And again, we go back to the always spending time with me and making time for me. Remember, I told you they have to have you around in order to suck from you and to prey on you. There has to be communication. There has to be a phone call. There has to be a meeting. There has to be communication. Nowadays, even in Texas, they send you things that you can read and it just subliminally gets into your head. Like, they have to have your attention. It has to be, they feed off of your energy. Even if you're arguing, they're feeding from your energy. Like, if you just don't give them any energy whatsoever, just see how you'll see. You will see them fall, one, or you'll just see their true colors. Give them no attention. Absolutely no attention. I'm telling you. They need attention. They need to touch you. They need to get your energy. Your energy is so important. That's why it's like so important to reserve it for yourself and God. Actually, reserve it for God and then yourself. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say this because all my videos are pre-recorded. I've got like 5 or 6 more that's been pre-recorded, and then I'm gonna start recording new ones. I would say be careful who you give your time to. I would say be careful who you have around you. And I would just say watch out for the signs. And you know what the signs are, from what I've seen so far? They prosper whilst you stagnate and stay in the same place. You have plans to do things and they go nowhere, but they continue to receive things. And this goes for friends as well. Like, we're gonna come up to all these things because it's gonna show who was preying and on you and who isn't. But yeah, their life gets better and your life doesn't change or it gets worse. You lose things and they continuously just receive things. But on the same hand, nowadays, what I'm seeing, because God is not happy with the fact that his people have been preyed on, is that it's another sign. Things around them crash and burn. Because most of the time, that's what they intended for you. I think it's really important to ask for discernment and wisdom, because you need to be able to know why people are having a hard time or why they're not having a hard time, because life is hard. People do have issues in real life, so it's not unusual. But when it's unusual is when it happens around a certain person around you, and they're falling because, one, maybe what they're doing to you is failing. But I guarantee you the only way it's really going to fail is if you pray. And by the way, another thing as well, whilst I was with these two guys, I found it hard to pray. I found it hard to fast. I found it hard to focus on God. Like, not only were they sucking from me financially, energy, I couldn't even find the strength to praise the Most High. I was more into what was going on with them. And yeah, if you're around people, and I won't say they're necessarily taking you away from God, it's not that obvious. That's a bit obvious, isn't it? If they say like, oh, why are you doing that? Like, no, when you're around them and you're finding it hard to do the things that you're supposed to do, chances are your energy is being sucked. I've learned that one. Most of the time when you can't even pray anyway, it is a spiritual battle that you're fighting. Then you need to check who's around you and what's going on with you and what's happened in your dreams. Because your dreams will be telling you what's happening around you. Pay attention to it. And if you don't understand your dreams, pray to God so he can actually give you understanding. Don't take it in your own knowledge, because sometimes I can interpret dreams and sometimes I can't. And I really need God to show me through the Holy Spirit what it is that I've just received in my dream. So yeah, that's it. For relationships, I am going to have a lot of videos that are going to be coming up back to back, because I've been a little bit delayed in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, guys, take care. I love you and God loves you more. Bye.